Hello guys, welcome back to another video. This is Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. It's just the demo, as you can see, so there's not much in it. We're going to actually get started on a new campaign. I already did a full playthrough of it, just kind of get the mechanics down. So when this gets loaded, we'll get right into it. Alright, so it's going to start us out with a small tutorial here. So we're going to start off by approaching the phone and accepting this job right here on a Salem GW500. Kind of looks like a Ford Focus to me. Probably what it's going off of as well. So we'll start off by opening up the hood and filling up the windshield washer reservoir. Go ahead and hold down left click to add fluid and get it up to right there. So that's all filled up. Now we're going to go over to this button on the lift, and on the old one you could just click this and it would go up and go down. But now you actually have to click the up button on the lift with this new one. You can see that the cars are a little bit more detailed in this in this game, as well as Car Mechanic Simulator 2018, which I would expect and I would hope as well. So I'm going to go ahead and use this oil drain, get all this old oil out of here. Just doing a simple oil change at the moment. I'm going to place that back. Click up here and take off the old oil filter and mount the new oil filter on, as you would with an oil change. Drop it down. Come over here and fill the oil back up. You usually fill it until the bottle tilts down a little bit, so you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. It's filling. And right there it tilted down. Get a little extra, and it's good to go. So we're going to go ahead and go over to the right wheel here. Take it off, just like you did in the last game, just by holding left click on the bolts. And you're going to go to the tire changer, which is right over here, highlighted, to separate parts and separate these. And this doesn't take too long. And it's already done. Awesome. So we're going to take those and then do install and put that new tire on there. You can see that there is a lot more detail into the actual game now. There's good shadows, good stuff like that, and it runs very smoothly. We're going to go ahead and go to balancing. So on the last game, balancing, you just waited for it to do its thing. On this one, you actually have a mini game. Or I say a mini game, but you really just go over to the green and hit it, and it's a lot faster than it was in the last game. Go ahead and click back on this and put that wheel and tire back on. Doesn't matter what pattern you do it in, but in real life you do it in a star pattern. So on the left side, we're going to take off this wheel. And we are going to take off the sway bar link and the shock absorber. Once we've got the shock absorber off, run over to the spring puller. Let it take that spring apart. Take the parts off and install the new spring on the left front. And then come back over here, reinstall that shock absorber. Reinstall that sway bar link, and put that wheel back on. So as you can see, basically the same mechanics as the last game, but they did add a lot of new stuff, which we will go over soon. A lot of it's not available in the demo version yet, but it will be whenever the full game comes out. As of right now, of course, since it is a demo, there's a lot of stuff missing. So there's going to be 2 missions. We got one, a Sakura Supa, and then another GW500. The Supa looks exactly like a Supra, but yeah, so right here we've got a fully upgraded garage with a new open plan. We've got a couple little tools, nothing really that we can use that we haven't used already. We've got the repair table with a new mini game, which is nice, wheel balancer and wheel changer, and then a spring puller. Some tools are locked, as in the paint shop, the dyno, all that stuff is locked. We're going to go ahead and head inside. So here is our upgraded shop. Very nice, great looking shop. A little bit dirty, which I don't like, but you can see as in here, can't use our toolbox. We can't use our engine crane. I believe no, yeah, that's not even a thing. Again, toolbox, can't use it. We can use our oil drain. Can't use our interior detail. Can't use our welder. Can't use the puller, the balancer, the changer. And over in this room, we've got a repair table for parts. Repair table for body parts, which is also new. Those used to be, I believe, added in 1. But while we're here, let's go ahead and get started on the first job that we have in the demo, which is going to be a Salem GW500 or a Ford Focus. So here it is. Let's see what we're going to be doing with it. Oh, hello. Okay, there we go. So, seems like boss is out. I heard that you are here on trial for the job. Just got some simple stuff to do. Periodic maintenance, brakes, plugs, coils. Sounds like the bearings might need to be checked. You know the deal. Good luck with your first real job. So we have all of our parts listed that we need to be changing, plus some additional tasks. Let's go ahead and move this onto the car lifter A. Another nice thing is when we move the vehicles anywhere, it automatically teleports you to where that vehicle is. So very nice thing. So let's go ahead and just get those additional tasks out of the way. So we got windscreen fluid, power steering fluid, and brake fluid. Go ahead and do the windshield washer fluid. Go ahead and fill that up for him. Nice and easy. And that's good, I believe. Yes, okay. So power steering fluid. Let's go to the power steering reservoir. So, if you don't know, with this new game, you can't just fill it up and it'll be right. You have to go here to additional tools, drain tool, and drain it out. If you take this or any of the power steering parts off while it's filled up, it charges you a 50 credit fee for cleanup. So we're going to go ahead and refill this, because I do not believe that there's any parts that we're going to be taking off that would make this spill out. Yes, and it does account for parts that would spill it out as well. We're going to go ahead and drain the brake fluid reservoir and fill it with new brake fluid as well. You can see the max line on this one actually, and it tilts up right whenever it gets to it. There we go. Perfect. All right. So additional tasks are finished. Now it's time to get on to the fun stuff. We'll go ahead and start up with the top of the motor. We're going to be replacing all 4 ignition coils and spark plugs, which we can do pretty simply. Not a hard task at all. So we got those. Then we'll head into our tablet. So this is where some stuff also changed. All your spark plugs and stuff like that are going to be in here, and you can see right here that we actually have fuses. Way different than the last game. Didn't even think about having fuses in the last game. We have relays. All of your pumps and modules are going to be right here. Your alternator is going to be here. Yeah, it's a little bit different. And I believe that I guarantee there's going to be a lot more stuff in there whenever the full game is released, which is supposed to be in 2021. Just no full release date on it yet that we've heard of. They also released that the demo for Motorcycle Mechanic Simulator, which I played previously, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So we got our ignition coils done and our spark plugs done. We're going to need to replace the serpentine belt A, which on this motor is going to be over here actually. So that's belt B. So we're going to take off these rollers because we have to get this timing cover off. So pop off the crankshaft pulley and get the timing cover off. So this is another new thing. Right here you see how this bolt is orange. I can't take it off. Loosen it up, spray some what they call DW40 on it. And we all really know what it is. We're going to take off this serpentine belt, which means we've got to take off the belt tensioner and get this replaced as well. So serpentine belt A, that is going to be in main shop. Look up Serp, get serpentine belt A, and buy it. I hope that was the right one. It was not. Okay, awesome. So A, I4B. Already wasting money, just like in 2018. Go ahead and get this put back on and get all of these parts put back on as well, because we don't need to do anything else on this side of the motor, I believe. And if we do, well then, just wasting my time. So, we got that done. Those are finished. We got wheel hub bearings, outer tie rods, brake pads, and brake discs. So, while we're here, we might as well just go ahead and grab all the brake stuff. So, you need 2 ventilated disc brakes, 4 brake pads. We need 2 outer tie rods, and then 2 wheel hub bearings, I believe is what it was. Yes. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get this at least slightly lifted so that we can start messing with suspension parts. Whoa. Very sensitive mouse in this game, by the way. I turned it down a little bit. Still pretty sensitive. We can see that the front disc right here needs to be replaced as well as the pads. So we're going to take off the caliper, take off the pads, and take off that brake. So while we're here, the wheel hub bearing is inside of here. So we're going to take out that drive axle, pop out the hub bearing, and put that new bearing in there while we're here, and toss that axle back in. Put that new ventilated disc brake on here, and toss the new brake pads on, as well as the caliper. Beautiful. So this brake assembly is finished. One thing we did not do is the tie rod. I'm happy I thought about that before I put the wheel back on. Let's go ahead and pop this this new tie rod on, or outer tie rod. It's really like a ball joint basically, but not. Go ahead and do that. We'll take off this tie rod while we're here. Go ahead and pop off our brake assembly. And pop out our axle so that we can replace that bearing just like the other side. And put all the new parts in. Alright, so now that that is finished, we're going to head to the rear and get the brake pads done in the back as well. And while we're right here, might as well just make sure that there's nothing else to do. So we got 2 brake pads, and that's it. Pop off this wheel. Caliper. And brake pads. Alright, and that is one side done. And we'll go ahead and head to the left rear. Take everything here off. We have another bolt that needs to be loosened, so we right click on it, spray it with DW04. That's what it is. Yeah. Slick, CMS, slick. Pop the brake caliper on it. And throw the rim on as well. And that is, I believe, a job complete. So this vehicle is pretty simple. Everything done here, And we got 1,600 credits for it. So this is where the big job comes in. The Super. So let's get started on it. This one does take a little bit longer. You can see it's in terrible condition. We also have our own vehicle over here, which we can do a full rebuild on, which I did. Takes up a lot of time, and you can't even finish it because you can't use your welder and stuff like that. So I'm not going to be doing that. It's honestly just kind of annoying because you can't finish it. So let's read up on this. Hello, you've done some... Wow, hold on, that's going way too fast. Hello, you have done well with the previous job. Now I bring you a more challenging car. This Super is a classic sports car. It was out of use for quite some time. It was past her prime, or way past her prime, but, come on, not complete trash. At this point, timing issues are probably most urgent. Chassis and suspension need some work as well. And of course, some regular maintenance work. Let me know when you're done with that one. Change oil and refill with new, and do all the fluids. So what we're going to do while we're up here, we're going to go ahead and refill the windshield washer reservoir. And we're actually going to drain the power steering and brake fluid on this one, but not refill it because I believe that we have to change something else out too. Oh, and the coolant reservoir, I believe. Yes, so coolant, not power steering, coolant. So we're going to drain the coolant reservoir. And I believe that we have to replace the water pump on this. So we're not going to refill this yet. But we are going to go ahead and do the brake fluid. see what's going on here, but we're getting it all nice and filled up. All right, so for this motor, we got to take off a lot of stuff just to get to into here and over here. So let's go ahead and take off this fan. We'll get all the motor stuff done first. We will take off this belt tensioner, serpentine belt, idle roller, pulley. We can't take the water pump off yet, so let's go ahead and take off this crankshaft pulley. Take off this timing cover. Then we get to where we can get our C, our serpentine belt. So now we've got to get this off. Just another timing cover. Got a stuck bolt here, DWO for that. And now we take off the throttle. Another stuck bolt. Take that off, and then take this one off. Then we come over here, pop our fuel rail out, and then take off our intake manifold, which has 2 stuck bolts. Go ahead and free them up and take them all off. And then we pop off our coil cover, which has 1 stuck bolt. And now we have access to in here. We're going to pop off our fuel filter as well, because we're going to have to change that, cam gears, and our water pump. So that's why I left that that coolant reservoir empty, was because we had to take off that water pump anyways. So let's go ahead and head up in here. We're going to have to change our spark plugs. We've got 6 of them. Pop off all of our ignition coils and take out all of our spark plugs. Head up to our tablet. Actually, let's see what all we can buy real quick. All right, so we are going to need spark plugs, water pump pulley. Let's just get those out of the way. Oh, I forget that those aren't here anymore. So, water pump for the inline 6 and water pump pulley. I know that we need our cam gears. We'll go here and get our spark plugs. We need 6 of them. All right. So we got spark plugs, water pump and pulley. Let's go ahead and get our belt tensioner. All right. 2 brake pads. We got our cam gears. Let's pop those brake pads real quick. I like to just buy all of the parts that I would need before starting on everything, just because I'll have everything that I need. So front sway bar B, fuel filter. Clutch plate and release bearing. Idle roller B, oil filter, and rear shock cap. Okay. Oil. Is that oil filter? Oh, wait. Oil filter. I forgot what the other thing was. Idle roller B and rear shock absorber cap. How many of those shock absorber caps do I need? 2 of them. And 2 rear swings. Wow, springs. All right. Rear shock absorber cap. Rear springs. We're going to need some rubber bushings. I don't know how many, so we're just going to buy 6 of them. Probably way more than I needed. Rear sway bar B. Okay, yeah, we only need 2 of those. Both serpentine belts. Sway bar front end links. Okay, so we'll get our sway bar B. Serpentine belt A and B. All right, then we're gonna need our front end links. Alright, so now we have every part on here. So we're going to go ahead and uncheck all of this stuff, just so that it's not showing in my face the entire time, because I pretty much know where everything is. Alright, cool. So let's go ahead and start putting some new stuff on. Got our spark plugs and ignition coils. There we go. Coils. And that's that. So let's go ahead and toss on our new cam gears and water pump. New serpentine belt, looking beautiful. Timing cover here. We'll wait for this till after we're done with all this stuff. Pump pulley, timing cover. Crankshaft pulley. Roller B and serpentine belt B. Toss back our radiator fan. Some nice long bolts. And our coil cover. So as you guys can see, I mean, this game is basically just like the last one. Just a couple more things that we will have to, I wouldn't say worry about, but deal with. It's not hard things. It's just remembering all of it is the tougher part. Because whenever I did the first playthrough of it, I was like, why is it not letting me finish the job? Well, the guy kind of needs coolant in his car, which in the last game, he didn't have to put coolant anywhere. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and fill this coolant reservoir up because we're done with the cooling system section. Go ahead and get it filled up to that first line. And a little bit past. Cool. All right. So I believe that should be everything with the motor. Let's double check. Okay, we just got some brake pads, clutch stuff, shocks, and sway bar front end links. Cool. All right. Go ahead and get this up a little bit. I am going to have to pop the starter off. Forgot about that. Because we are going to have to get back into the gearbox so that we can change the, what's it called, the clutch. I'm going to pick this bad boy up. And we'll pop off our drive shaft, which has 2 stuck bolts here and 1 all the way over here. So we'll get all these taken off. That's that. And get our gearbox off, which is only 4 bolts on this vehicle, which is kind of weird. On the last one, no matter which vehicle you worked on, it was like 8. So that's new. Honestly, kind of nice. Makes it a little bit easier, a little bit less time consuming. Go ahead and take our clutch plate off and pop on our new clutch plate. The old pressure plate because it's still good. And the new release bearing. Toss our gearbox back on, looking nice and shiny. No gears in there, wow. And then throw our drive shaft back in. Beautiful. All right. Let's get started on the suspension stuff. We're going to pop off our wheel. I believe it's the front brake pads that need to be changed. So we'll go ahead and take off the caliper. And the pads. We'll take off our sway bar front end link here. Go ahead and pop the new pads in over here. New old caliper. And we'll rush over to the other side. But while we're right here, let's go ahead and replace these bushings that are bad. Alright. And we'll replace this bushing. Take off. Oh, hello, where are you? There we go. Take off the wheel. And the caliper. Pad. And sway bar. Alright, we got the whole sway bar off. Let's put this bushing back in. I bought way too many of them. Let's put that new sway bar on and the new sway bar end link. New pads and the old caliper. once we put this wheel back on, that should be everything with the front end. The only thing that I'm going to have to do after the suspension is a quick and easy oil change. That's not what I needed. There we go. Okay. Oh, hello. Sway bar. There. End link. On. And wheel and tire. On. Cool. So that's everything with the front end. Let's head to the rear end. We're doing our springs and the rear sway bar. Got a lug bolt that is a little too tight for us to take off. Take off our shock absorbers here and spring and the sway bar link. Go ahead and come over here. We got another lug bolt that's too tight. Take off our sway bar end link. Take our sway bar all the way out. That was our shock absorber, not our sway bar. Okay. Shock cap, spring cap, and then the spring itself. Let's go ahead and put our shock absorber back on because we did not need to take it off. And put our new sway bar in, spring, end link, and cap. Wheel and tire back. And head over here. We can do the same except for the part where we took off our shock absorber because we don't need that. Alright, and that is that. So let's go ahead and do our oil change. Drain out all the old oil. Let it take its time. Doesn't take long. It's going straight through the cross member. That made a slight mess. Take off that oil filter and pop the new oil filter on. And we will drop her down. And fill her up. So after we complete this, I'll show you guys the new mini game on the repair tables. It's pretty cool. And it actually gives you something to do instead of just clicking a button. What did I forget? Fuel filter, idle roller. I missed an idle roller. What? Where? But like, where? Well, I mean, I guess that's why we have this. This one. Really? Okay. Well, let's take our full belt tensioner. I guess I didn't replace that one. Radiator fan off. And serpentine belt. 60%. I guess that's not good enough. Okay. Now it's brand new. I bought 2 of those, didn't I? Yeah, definitely did just now. Fan. I'll throw a belt tensioner back on after this. Okay. That's everything. Oil, done. Additional tasks finished. Now let's roll him out. Starter is missing from the car. Yeah, he probably needs that. This is what I'm talking about, guys, with the remembering everything. That's the hard part about this game, is remembering things. Now we're done. Yes. So that's the end of the tutorial, or not the tutorial, the demo. But as you guys will see here, there's still a lot that we can do. So I'll show you guys the repair table. That's for body. We don't have anything. There's our engine stand, which we can't use. We also have a brake lathe, which we cannot use. That will be nice. So, repair table. Nothing that I can repair, huh? Yeah, that makes sense, actually. Let's go ahead and just sell all this. And I'll grab a body part off of that car that's up front. And a repairable part. So let's just take fender, hood, bumper. I'll just take a couple of them just in case. And repairable part wise, let's just break down this and we'll take the engine head off of it because I believe that we can repair the head. So let's take all this off. As you can see, mostly everything is missing from this vehicle. Okay, cool. Let's run in here and repair some stuff. body parts. Nothing that I grab can be repaired. Cool. All right, so this is going to be it. So you click the spacebar, wait for it to get in green, click the spacebar again. Failed. Bam, it made it worse. So that means it's going to cost us more to keep repairing it. The more times you have to do it, the more it costs per hit. And there we go. Now it's fully repaired. So now those parts are brand new. And it's the exact same thing with the body pieces, same game. But as you can see, we go here, and now, bam, 100% on the engine head. It's pretty cool. I didn't know that the cam gear, or not the cam gear, but the camshaft could be fixed as well. But apparently it can, so happy birthday. But yeah, so that was doing that stuff. We'll go ahead and run around here. You can see that it's way different. We have an outside to our shop. Not everything is in the same building. We have our paint booth over here and our test path facility over there. So let's check out the paint booth. Just about the same as the last one. You can see the test path from the paint booth. Open up our door, get hit by the door as well. And here's our little paint booth. Can't use it yet. And then we'll run into our test path, which is right here, which we also cannot use. Over here, we have our dyno and car wash. The car wash lets you wash your car. You have interior and exterior. And in here is the dyno, which you can see is pretty much just about the same. Same concept behind it, but just a little bit cooler looking, a little bit more updated. And that's really just about it, guys. I appreciate y'all watching the video, checking out Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. And yeah, that's it. Hopefully the game will come out soon, and we'll be able to play the real thing. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.